With Darth Maul's return to the Star Wars universe with the season finale of Rebels Season 2, a question has been sparked as to how Maul will be utilized for the remainder of his time present in the limelight. Also, with this comes a big question: could Darth Maul potentially appear in Rogue One, and if so, what role could he play? First off, we need to verify the timeline of the last time we saw Darth Maul and when Rogue One takes place. The last we saw Maul was in Rebels Season 2, and Season 2 of Rebels very much on purpose has not been revealed to the exact time in which it takes place. But luckily, we know exactly when the very beginning of Season 1 began. The first episode of Star Wars Rebels took place approximately 5 years before A New Hope, and since the Ghost crew have been through many trials and adventures since the original air date, I assume likely a year has passed, if not more. So this gives us a potential 4-year gap between Rebels Season 2 and Rogue One, and we know this because Rogue One takes place mere weeks to even days away from the beginning of A New Hope, as the plot for that film sets up the story for the original movie. So with this established, we also need to note that Maul's role is not yet over, and his story will continue into Season 3 of Rebels and possibly even beyond. So what are my predictions for Darth Maul in Rogue One? Many have suggested and requested I address the theory that Maul is in fact the hooded figure featured in the Rogue One trailer. In said shot, we can see what appears to be a robed figure kneeling in front of what I believe, and many have theorized to be a Bacta tank, which is a tank utilized to heal wounds. Along with this, royal guards are present in the background of the supposed tank. This has led many to theorize that they are in fact protecting a recuperating emperor. Maul's current goal is to eliminate the Empire and take revenge, with his primary target being the Emperor. With this knowledge, I have become aware of a popular theory surrounding Maul and the shot from Rogue One. The theory suggests Darth Maul is in fact the robed figure and agrees to aid the rebels in their attempt to steal the Death Star plans. He is most likely allowed to follow and help the rebels as he holds knowledge that they do not. By some means, Maul is aware of a period in which the Emperor enters a Bacta tank in which to recover from his injuries, most likely dark side degradation or simply old age. Maul then utilizes the resources and skill of the rebels to infiltrate the location of the plans and Palpatine in order to kill him at his weakest and most vulnerable, as he would stand no chance against him in his regular state. This theory is supported by the hooded figure in the trailer being Maul mockingly kneeling before his former master before attempting to kill him within the tank at his most vulnerable. This is in fact almost certainly false, and I can explain why. In the background, of course addressed many times, are 2 Royal Imperial Guards. These guards represent in themselves an extension of the Emperor's direct will and would not take kindly to the presence of an intruder. While once long ago Maul affiliated and served the Sith, and in fact the Emperor himself, times have changed. A quote from Maul confirms all of this. The Sith took everything from me, ripped me from my mother's arms, murdered my brother, used me as a weapon, and then cast me aside, abandoned me. When Maul says this, he is not just referring to the Sith in general, but the very specific Darth Sidious, the Emperor and ruler of the Galactic Empire. We also know Sidious is aware of Maul's return in Rebels Season 2, as he had his apprentice Darth Vader dispatch Inquisitors to search for and attempt to eliminate what we know as Maul, but what they refer to as the Shadow. I hope these help to illustrate that there is no way these two would ever meet on peaceful terms, and if this kneeling figure is indeed Maul, there is no way the Imperial Guards would be peacefully standing there, and although Maul could possibly be using a Force Cloak ability as seen before by Sith like Darth Zana, it is still highly unlikely. Along with this, a major goal for Rogue One is to explore the so-called regular people with Star Wars and how the Empire affected them, and for the most part, take a breather from the more mystical aspects of the universe. Another thing in aiding to debunking this theory is that Maul is not featured or even at the slightest hinted at through all of the marketing or trailer for the film. As for my predictions for Maul in Rogue One, I do not think he will appear, but this does not mean his presence or actions will not be felt. Both Rebels Season 1 and 2 premiered in the summer, with releases in August and June. I believe Season 3 will also follow this pattern, and something very interesting is that Dave Filoni has said that Season 3 will be used to lead up to and promote Rogue One's December release, with it leaving pieces behind to further be explored in Rogue One. It has also been said that Maul will serve as the primary antagonist for Season 3, which is a good indication, as we now know that preparation for Rogue One and Maul are both intertwined in the season, meaning Maul could have some very big, thus far unforeseen consequence that will echo into Rogue One. As for what these consequences are, I am of yet unaware, but there have been rumors suggesting that the crew of Rebels will be encountering the production of the DS-1 Orbital Battle Station, or better known as the Death Star. In Season 2 of Rebels, the crew did discover a few Death Star prototypes built in secret, but not the real thing. In Season 3, Maul will be in full force against the Empire, and we very well could see him attempt to destroy an early Death Star, and maybe even witness the plans to the superweapon. But this, along with all other theories concerning what impact he will have on Rogue One, is a shot in the dark. As I said earlier, however, I do believe we will see some of Maul's actions echoed through Rebels into Rogue One, or maybe even just an Easter egg suggesting his past presence. So that is just what I think concerning my predictions for Darth Maul and Rogue One. I think at least for now, they will be leaving Maul out of the films and focusing on him in Rebels. Fingers crossed though that one day we can see him on the big screen again. So tell me what you think. Will Maul be in Rogue One, or do you think he won't be featured in any regard? Do you think we could end up seeing the results of something Maul does in Rebels that carries over, or do you think we won't get anything at all? If you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out my predictions on Darth Vader and the Emperor concerning Rogue One, and be sure to leave all comments and insight down below. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.